Hello, it's Salisa, also known as the Beautiful Me, and today I'm bringing you my personal story of how I manifested the man that I'm in love with. Now, this is just in time for Valentine's Day, and again, this is kind of like a story time, but the law of attraction definitely had a role in me meeting him. So grab you a cup of coffee, get you some tea, and sit back and hear the story. I've never really been that serious about dating. I mean, I was kind of like the serial dater. Always had a guy around, always spending time with someone, but never really wanting to commit. I've always been the first to break up with people, and I think it stemmed from my marriage some time ago. I was divorced. And so I just never really believed relationships last. Part of it was, I remember I would always say, is monogamy even real? I mean, is it just a myth that we've made up in our head? I've never seen a relationship with, a monogamous couple before. So, and maybe I have, but they had other problems. I just figured, is monogamy really even possible? So my dating life was affected by those thoughts that I had internally in my head all along. Law of attraction had worked so well for me in so many areas of my life, from my career to my money to material things that I wanted. I thought maybe I don't have a true understanding of relationships. Maybe I need to get clear on what it is that I really want, because I don't remember even desiring to be in a relationship. So I started listening to some Abraham Hicks videos on YouTube, and I'll link one below. It's one that's about 2 hours long, so it has a lot of little snippets of her seminar and how she would talk to people. And that was the beginning of me changing my thought process about relationships. About 6 months before I met Nate, is his name. About 6 months before I met him, I had a desire placed in my heart. It was kind of like things shifted for me. I began working as a nurse, teaching peritoneal dialysis to dialysis patients. And as I worked in this clinic, I would see couples come, and I remember telling my coworkers, I want that one day. I never really thought I wanted it before, but this time something shifted, and I was like, I want a relationship like that. I want someone that can depend on me as much as I depend on them. And I want someone to grow old with. I want someone to spend time with. And I used to see the way that these men would open the doors for their wives coming out of dialysis education, and I was like, they are so sweet to them. I want someone that's that sweet to me and really cares for me, and through sickness and in health, not necessarily married, but definitely through sickness and in health. And that's where the shift began, about 6 months before I met him. While working in this dialysis clinic, I worked alongside two angels, one named Terry and one named Audra. Ironically enough, both of these women were, I believe, placed in my path for a reason. They both had successful relationships, successful marriages for many years. And Audra was really spiritual, and Audra is just so sweet. Terry is just feisty. She's like the little feisty one. I worked with them for a few months, and after some time, Terry, the feisty one, said, so are you dating anyone? Now, mind you, I had been telling them I want a relationship like that every time I saw someone come in the clinic with their spouse. I said, well, I'm not really dating one person. I have 4 people I'm dating, just casually. I think they were both flabbergasted at the idea that I had 4 men that I was dating here and there. No one was serious to me though. I mean, I wasn't in a serious relationship or a committed relationship with anyone, but that was foreign to both of them. And they were like, don't you want a serious relationship? And for the first time, I answered, yes, I do. I think because I had saw so many sweet couples coming in and out of the clinic, it changed my perspective. And listening to Abraham Hicks, I started to understand what relationships were really about. And she said, well, you're never gonna find it as long as you're dating 4 guys. Is there any of them that have the potential to be the one? I'm sure they're not if you're dating all 4. So you probably need to send a message to them and let each one of them know that you're no longer going to date them or take their calls or anything else. And I was like, what? You want me to cut off what, little bit of entertainment I have, what little bit of dates I get? Cut it off? And Terry was like, send it right now. I'm not playing. Send it right now to each one of them. And right there in the clinic, that's just what I did. I remember Audra said, God has someone that's specifically made for you, and you can get all of those pieces of those 4 people in one. You just have to believe it. I mean, it was like they were 2 angels speaking to me. But I sent the message to all 4 men, and things began to change. Shortly after I sent the message to each one of those guys, I started, maybe about a week later, to have a fluttering in my heart, like a heart palpitation. And so Terry took me to the hospital. And out of precautions, maybe because I'm a healthcare provider and I know the symptoms of like a heart attack, I started feeling like maybe I was having a heart attack, you know? And so the hospital admitted me for observation overnight to do a stress test and also to do a ultrasound of my heart. I had just 1 week before stopped talking to the 4 men that I casually dated. And so I called each one of them and told them what was going on with me. Not one of them showed up to visit me, to check and make sure my heart was really okay. No one showed up. That mock hospitalization was a reminder that I had requested someone who would be there through sickness and health. And here I was believing that I was sick at the time and no one showed up for me. And it just reiterated the fact that none of these men were for me. So I felt okay letting them go. In the end, nothing was wrong with my heart. I think it was just an eye-opener, an eye-opening experience for me. 2 days after I was released from the hospital, I was supposed to go with my family to Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. And my family, we love to travel. I went to Puerto Vallarta, went on the beach, and just released any fears that I had about the future and said a short prayer and had a wonderful trip. For a week, I just enjoyed everything that I did. Every sight, every time I spent with my kids, my sister, my mom. I just enjoyed every dinner, every iced coffee I drank. I just had a great time in Puerto Vallarta. And I didn't think not one time, I wish I had a man here with me, or I wish I had someone to call. The thought never formulated in my mind. When I got back from Puerto Vallarta, about 3 weeks later, a message just spontaneously appeared on my phone. It was a notification from a dating app that I used to use like a long time ago, and I hadn't used it in over a year. But here and there, you know, once in a while, a message, a notification would come on my phone saying that this person sent me a message. And I usually could see a little picture of the person's face, and then I would look at it and be like, nah, I'm okay. But this time, I looked at the little picture and I couldn't tell what it was. And I was like, well, this person sent me a message, but I can't even see that picture. So I clicked the picture and it took me directly to the app and opened up the message of someone sending me a message telling me I had a beautiful smile. And it's so funny when I look back on it, the picture, you couldn't even see what it was. And usually I wouldn't respond to people who don't have pictures. But something that day made me, with my smart mouth, send a message back that says, well, it's nice that you say I have a nice smile, a beautiful smile, but I don't know what you look like. Another notification came across my phone and I clicked the message and he said, I don't share my pictures with everyone. He said, but he would be willing to do it for me. And I said, another smart message back, put your money where your mouth is. And he sent me a message again within minutes that said, check my profile. And when I saw his picture, I was like, oh my goodness, he's so handsome. I had always looked on like Instagram's Black Men with Beards page. I love black men with beards. And of course, he had a beard. And the picture that he had posted that made the conversation start between us was a little corner of his beard he took a picture of. Why? I don't know. But it was enough to get the conversation going with us. And when I finally saw his picture with that beard, I was like, ooh, he's so chocolate, like same color as me, you know, a long beard, just like I like, a bald head. He just had all the pieces that's naturally my type of guy. You know, when you look at someone, you just say, ooh, he's handsome. Like that's how I felt about him when I saw his picture. The funniest thing is we talked for hours on end after he sent his picture via the website. And finally we exchanged numbers at the end of the night and we began talking on the phone, on my way to work, on lunch, after work. It was like we just had so much in common. He had a 21-year-old son, I had a 21-year-old son. And I started to think, I wonder if his son knows my son. But he found out they went to 2 separate high schools. I thought, oh, okay, no problem. I found out he had a passport, which was huge for me because I love to travel and I wanted someone who wanted to travel, and he had a passport and he was open to traveling. I'm a true foodie and he happens to be a foodie too. So we try out new restaurants all the time. We talked about food and food places, and I was just like, this cannot be possible. He's so handsome and we have so many things in common, you know? We also both love music. He has a lot more variety in his music selection than I do, but I thought I loved music. This man loves music. And so he started sending me songs while we were talking for the first couple of weeks. And I would play them. He's like, I really like this artist. Have you ever heard this? And we shared music together. And we still hadn't met. Come to find out, we lived 10 minutes from each other. Like, he literally lives down the street from me. We probably had crossed each other's paths several times before at, you know, Walmart, Kroger, somewhere at the grocery store. He sent a song to me and I played it for my oldest son. And my son said, usually my son would, well, let me give you background. Usually my son would look at people's pictures if I met them online, and he's like, oh, he's a lame. Oh, mom, he's lame. You know, things like that. But this time I had played the song for my son that he sent me, and my son said, what does he look like? Because he shouldn't be knowing songs like that. It was a song by SZA before she became big. I played it for him and he said, what does he look like? He shouldn't be knowing songs like this. What does he look like? And when I showed him the picture, he said, oh, he looks like a cool dude, Mom. And he's like, what does he do? And where does he live? And, you know, and I started telling him he had a son that was his exact same age. And I told him what he did and where he lived. And my son said, I know this guy. Me and his son are friends. We hang out all the time. I've been to his house. I was like, what? I didn't know how I was gonna break the news that his son knew my son and they had been hanging out all this time. I'm telling you, 6 degrees of separation is real. But anyway, he treated me the way that I wanted to be treated. We got to know each other and it almost seemed like we had known each other forever, you know, like we already had been together for some time. The more we spent time together, the closer we have grown. When people ask me why I love him, it's because he's mature. He has integrity. He's faithful. He's honest. He has a positive attitude. He's a gentleman. He's self-confident. He's loyal and trustworthy. He's smart. He's kind. He's a good listener. And he's family-oriented. We've been together now for 2 years, and I can't wait for more years to come. I'm having the time of my life with the person I'm supposed to spend it with. I really don't think I was ready for this type of relationship before. And I've told him, you know, I wish we would have met each other earlier. And the best statement he said in reply is, we weren't the same people we are now if we would have met earlier. Who knows if it would have worked? And that is so true. Divine timing is everything. I would say to you, if you're looking for a relationship, just keep your mind open. Listen to the internal talk that you give yourself, because I believe I internally talked myself out of having a relationship for several years. So listen to the internal talk that you tell yourself, whether it's using another little couple on the street or looking at a love story, romance movie. It doesn't matter. Start using tools to help you to visualize what it is you're looking for, and lo and behold, it will show itself to you. Okay, well, that's my love story. I hope everyone has a great weekend. Thank you for watching. I do upload every Sunday and sometimes alternate times during the week, additional videos. If you like the video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. Take care.